보안이 철통 같고 아주 은밀하고 아무도 모르는 장소에 그 안에 5만 원권 300원을 할 금고에 모은 거야.
지금까지 이거 여는데 성공한 놈이 하나도 없다잖아.
역시 나는 연습 체질이 아닌가 봐요.
이게 폭발력이 어마어마한.
나도 속이고 너도 속이는 거야.
사냥이 이제 시작.
성공하면 어떻게 할래?
G-Huck is a very skilled picklock and safe hacker who steals and trades artifacts for a career. He is so excellent at what he does that he has committed over 100 thefts without being arrested or even suspected. At the start of the movie, we witness him on one of his missions. He is breaking into a high-security office building to steal a valuable relic. The safe is complicated and tough to break into, but not for G-Huck. He unlocks it in a minute and successfully steals the relic. He also deceives the guards, but after he's out of danger, he accidentally ruins the valuable relic. G-Huck's efforts seem futile, but he refuses to give up just yet. He meticulously plans and fabricates an exact replica of the statue. He then takes the replica to a well-known antique artifact trader. The man realizes the statue is a forgery and refuses to do business with G-Huck. However, a wise G-Huck asks him whether he has ever sold a forgery before. If he wanted to, G-Huck could simply demonstrate the seller's dishonest business practices. So, the man is forced to purchase the statue, going G-Huck's best friend and companion in crime. He's a mechanic who specializes in creating bombs from the most basic materials. Following the recent heist, G-Huck intends to produce counterfeit money. He is able to develop a unique formula for printing counterfeit but identical bills. However, the print fades when exposed to alcohol. When the scheme fails, the team shifts its focus to another target, a jewelry store with $3 million in diamonds. The task is particularly difficult because the shop is tightly monitored and has CCTV cameras throughout. To disable the cameras, they need a professional hacker who is willing to assist them. This is when a young man named Jangbi steps in. Jangbi allegedly deceived his associates and sold them out for money. Nonetheless, Ji-Hoo and Gwen decide to entrust him with the task because he is the greatest in the industry. Ji-Hook then befriends a woman named Unha, an art expert. He takes her out on a professional date and compliments her necklace, which was a gift from her late father. They travel to a jewelry store to confirm the necklace's legitimacy, and it turns out that the small diamond is a collectible worth millions of dollars. When no one is looking, Ji-Hook slips a bag beneath his sofa and leaves. They visit a second jewelry store to validate the value of the diamond and receive the same response from the dealer. Ji-Hook plans to rob the shop, so he remembers where the CCTV cameras are, how many rooms there are, and how many guards are there. At the conclusion of the day, he determines that they must perform the robbery in less than 10 minutes. On the day of the theft, the luggage that Ji-Hoo had left in the shop earlier sparks an explosion, distracting the guards. Jangbi steps in and hacks the CCTV cameras before Ji-Hoo and Gwen enter the business. Jangbi also disables the alarm system, allowing Ji-Hoo to access the safe without alerting the guards. When the guards return earlier than expected, Gwen distracts them by shattering their car window. Meanwhile, Jill grabs the jewels and takes them away. The three reunites in the car to celebrate their victory. The next day, Cho, the owner of the stolen jewels, is upset, but also fascinated by the con artists who were able to steal through such tight protection. Cho is a billionaire businessman and gangster who has killed countless people to get where he is now and does not intend to back down anytime soon. He recently cemented his accountant to the ground for attempting to deceive him. Cho is also preparing his own theft and requires some adept conmen. He's kidnapped and tested several safecrackers and pickpockets in the last month, but no one has yet met his criteria. Now that he knows a talented con guy is out there, he doesn't waste any time in informing his team to find out who stole the gems. He does not wish to catch the thieves, but rather assign them a greater assignment. For the next few days, his guys keep an eye on every diamond dealer in the city, eventually discovering Gi-Huck and his lair. Cho approaches the group and offers them a 5% commission apiece if they agree to help him with a theft. If they do not comply, the loved ones of all three will be slain. Gi-Huck realizes Cho believes Ian Haha is his girlfriend, but he does not bother to correct him. Finally, he accepts the offer and agrees to help. Following that, Cho informs them that he is importing $150 million in black money and cash into Korea through Inan Customs. It is Korea's principal import point and is closely guarded with the strongest security measures in Asia. Cho is importing both cash and food coupons. He wants the three to use the vouchers as a cover and get the black money out of customs. The squad agrees and begins constructing a complex strategy because this is the biggest theft they've ever attempted. While everyone is busy, Cho summons Jang Bae for a private meeting and offers him a large sum of money to keep an eye on Ji-Hook and Gwen. He wants to make sure the two don't deceive him. Meanwhile, the police continue to seek for the diamond burglars. They observe on CCTV tape that Ji-Hoo was the one who delivered the explosives to the adjoining jewelry store, which served as a distraction. They travel to Ji-Hoo's house and discover a room full of plans and data for the upcoming theft. Gak's decision to leave everything out in the open is extremely sloppy, but the police take full advantage of it and discover that he and Cho are somehow connected. A day before D-Day, Jio and Gwen go to the port to put up explosives as a distraction, as well as a device to assist Jang Bae in hacking the port security system. Ji-Hoo returns to the hideout and informs Gwa that he intends to betray Cho and take all of the money by changing the coupon delivery address to his own. However, Jang Bae overhears them discussing the idea and informs Cho. Cho chooses to face Ji-Hoo later because he still needs him to complete the heist. Ji-Hoo is seen outside Yen Ha's art gallery, waiting for her. She absolutely ignores him because he hasn't responded to her SMS or calls. When she refuses to speak, he admits that he was a student of her late father. We then meet the master con artist who introduced Ji-Hook to the world of crime. At some point in his life, Mr. O recognized he wanted to quit stealing and live an honest life. However, he was killed the same day by his business partner, Cho. Gio doesn't believe him anymore and walks away. Only a few seconds later, Cho's people kidnap her to keep Ji-Hook under control. Finally, the robbery day arrives, and everyone enters the dock disguised as planned. Cho initiates the maneuver by detonating an explosive, which distracts and confuses the guards simultaneously. Jang Bae utilizes his expertise to breach the security mainframe and convince the officials that the explosion was the cause. It's a minor issue that can be resolved in 40 minutes. This gives Gio and Gwen enough time to finish their goal. They head to the protected chamber, where Ji-Ha opens the safe. They finally stand in front of a large mound of money and are captivated by it. Without wasting much time, they begin loading the truck with cash and exchanging it for food tickets. Just then, the cops arrive on the site after learning about the incident. They make their way around the harbor, causing Gio to come to a halt only seconds before escaping with the money. Gio takes advantage of this chance and travels to the customs office to change Cho's address to his own, as planned. However, after learning of his plot from Jang Bae, Cho is readily able to stop him. He holds Gu-Hoo at gunpoint and begs him to turn himself in to the authorities. When Gu-Hoo declines, he is offered Ian Ha's necklace, which will save her life. He reluctantly surrenders before a SWAT team. Just before being arrested, he leaps into the ocean and is shot in the process. Furthermore, the device in his hand detonates, resulting in his death. When Gwen learns of this, he is saddened, but Jang Bae is relieved that they would keep his portion of the money. He and Gwen get into a fight, which ends with Jang Bae stabbing Gwen and leaving him to die. Finally, the container ship arrives at Cho, but when he opens it, he is astonished to find it loaded with coupons rather than money. As he loses his mind over where the money went, he receives a call from Gio, who turns out to be okay and alive. Ji-Hoo's actions throughout the film have been aimed at destroying Cho for the murder of Mr. O. First, the artifact he stole and replaced with a fake contained a microphone. He knew Cho was a frequent customer of the dealer. Ji-Hoo was fortunate, as Cho purchased the relic at an auction. When he learned that Cho was seeking for a secure hacker, he planned to take the gems in order to gain his attention. When Cho thought he was hunting Ji-Hoo, Ji-Hoo was actually leaving clues for him. Jang Bae had been with the group all along and was asked to pretend to be on Cho's side. The SWAT team that was supposed to capture Ji-Hook at the dock were his own people in disguise, and the gunshot was also a forgery. They eventually rescued Gwa from where he was pretending to be dead. Cho eventually loses his money, and Ji-Hook reports him to the police. The hideout is raided shortly after the call, and Cho's men begin fighting the police while attempting to save their lives. When everyone is preoccupied, Jang Bae saves Yenha and transports her away from harm. Cho flees the scene as he realizes how chaotic his scheme has become. After a few hours, everything calms down in the hideout because no one is present. Ji-Hoo's people come to take the meal coupons, even if they aren't worth anything, but then we find out that the coupons are actually the money they were intended to take while transferring funds at the port. They were also printing it on Ji-Hoo's phony bill printer, which he had built years earlier. When a bill passes through the printer, it becomes a coupon due to oxidation, but it can be converted back into money when treated with alcohol. alcohol. Cho was unaware of this, so he saw the coupons and assumed he had lost the money despite the fact that it was right in front of him the whole time. As a final blow, Ji-Hoo crashes into Cho's car and abandons him for the cops. In their hideout, the coupons are soaked in alcohol and transformed into actual money. Following the incident, Ji-Hoo is missing for several months. Then, one day, Yin-Ah receives a large sum of money from him, which he had promised to give her to build an art gallery in Dubai. Yin-Ah spends the money as she had intended long ago. During her travels to Dubai, she discovers her jewelry, which she had lost when kidnapped, at a museum. Suddenly, Ji-Hoo appears behind her, and the film concludes with the two reunited. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.